If you're trying to build AI agents, you need to understand how to use evals to make sure that every single time you change the prompt or the model, that you know your outputs are still good. So here are 3 simple steps to follow when you're creating your evals. And the first step is really human lift. You have to go and take a data set of outputs. So you look at 20, 50, 200 outputs, depending on the scale that you need. You look at those outputs and you evaluate it yourself. And you say, hey, does this meet certain standards? And you create a rubric as the human. You evaluate the outputs as the human. You score the outputs as the human. And you save that as a scored set of outputs that the human scored. The next piece here is creating a prompt that has that rubric that you used and is written in a way to evaluate LLM outputs like you just did as the human. And you have that prompt evaluate the same set of outputs that you evaluated. So just to recap here, you went and you did the evaluation based on your rubric. Then you wrote a prompt to do the same evaluation. You ran that prompt on the same set of outputs that you did manually, and you look and see how close did the prompt that you wrote, the LLM, how close did it score the outputs compared to how you scored it. And you're looking to get to like 75, 85% of what you got. And if you're able to get to around 80%, then you have a pretty good eval. And you put that in production. So then what happens here, and now this is step 3. So step 1 was you do it as a human. Step 2 was you write the prompt and you run that prompt to make sure that it's matching 80% of what yours was. And then the third step here is you build it into the production and then you audit. So after every single output, when you do a change, you run this eval. It scores based on that rubric how well that output did. And then you as the human will go and check 1 to 5% of them to make sure that it's matching what you would score it. And whenever you make a prompt change, you want to run these, a prompt change, a model change, whenever you changes to the harness, whenever you make big changes, you make sure that you're running the evals on the first big set. And you can continue the evals, they're not super expensive, but definitely when you first initially make the change, you make sure you're running the eval. And then you can also, this is like a fourth extra step, you can run flags to where like if there seems to be all of a sudden like a big drift in the output quality, you get flagged and you do more human review.